All right, so yeah, we have Mfoniso here, and then we have Mr. Aaron here.
Can you imagine?
So, Mfoniso, today we're discussing Peter Obi versus Tinubu. So, why do you think Peter Obi should be our next president?
All right, for the first part, he has showed track records. We've seen what he has done in Anambra. As at the time he entered Anambra was actually in debt. We had institutions that were not actually working at the time. Past when he entered there, post when he left there. I mean, we are talking about somebody that left a state in enough economic resources such that the next governor came in and was able to build, was it an airport or a stadium, like we said. Some of the best hospitals in the country was actually built in Anambra while Peter Obi was actually there. He made sure that he dropped the cost of running government there. He had also dropped, aside from dropping cost of governance, Peter Obi is actually exposed. He has worked in many arms of many, what's it called now, administrations. At one time he worked during the Abacha regime. He has spent time on ground and abroad learning how to actually do things, engage the populace. Aside from that, he's also a Christian, which actually draws, what's it called now? Brings close the divide, which and some parties are bringing Muslim tickets to the Christian-Muslim ticket. I personally believe he's trying to reduce the marginalization. He does not have a bad track record in terms of crime. He has not been accused of anything that he has not come out to publicly clarify himself. He's educated, whose education we can actually confirm. And finally, what was I going to add to it? He has actually stated how he's going to run things, and he has also made us understand that it's going to be a collective. His game plan is to ensure that corruption does not exist actually in the country. He's not planning on working with corruption or managing corruption. He's planning on actually ending corruption. And to the height of this, he is actually a very agile and hardworking man. So Peter B.
Peter Obi is your, all right, amazing. All right, straight we'll go to Mr. Aaron. Mr. Aaron, you've heard a lot of points from Mr. Mfoniso, and I'd like to ask you,
okay,
what do you think about, let's go.
First, before I start on my points, I didn't hear any points from him. All I heard were a rambling of lists with no backing of any sort of information whatsoever. Just to give you an idea of just how much I think it was rambling he was doing, you said that Peter Obi had not been accused of anything. You forget that
he had not come out to clarify.
The Panama Papers are nothing to clarify. There are accounts of people who were siphoning money from their country and putting them in accounts abroad where it cannot be tracked. And those accounts were opened when Peter Obi was in office. Not
was
when
he opened by Peter Obi?
They're his personal accounts. The Panama accounts, his personal accounts, they're not. You can Google it. That's one.
Googling it.
Go ahead. Go right ahead. Secondly, you tell me that he left the state in good stead and all that. Oh, okay. Let's put it into perspective. So he governed as a governor 8 years, owed people 36 months' salaries, paid it off the last 4 months in office, and then you expect me to hail him because he didn't pay people salary for 30-something months and saved the money instead. All right, so let's
record of Peter Obi actually owing anybody salary for 36 months.
Google it.
I'm actually on Google right now.
Information is there. You'll see it once you Google it. I can confirm it with you. And then the other thing is, he says he invested money on behalf of the state.
Actually, which he did.
Yes, I agree. Except that it was a corrupt investment. First of all, by the law, every person who is supposed to run for office is expected to resign from the boards of any companies that they're going to do business with. If we all remember, the Minister of Power, what's his name? The guy that was made to resign because he gave a contract to a company that he was on the board of some time back. Somebody was from the East as well. I'm trying to remember his name, under Jonathan. He was made to resign because the company he gave the contract for the contract he gave to the company was to a company that he was on the board of and he had forgotten he was on the board of.
He did not forget that he was on the board of.
He said
He added them to the contract. I mean, there's no aspect
Okay,
of...
so here's the thing. If you agree that that was a
You
crime,
have actually not actually stated why Tinubu is your candidate.
I will. It's a very simple reason, and you'll see it with me. But you see,
And
what
the
I've
other
done.
fact about Peter Obi owing somebody is actually an accusation by another party member. It does not hold
Note that
water.
I didn't interrupt you when you spoke, and let you
All right,
speak.
Mr. Efodi, so
I
Mr.
apologize.
Objection overruled.
Right?
I apologize.
All right, Mr. Aaron, you have the floor.
All right. So if you see by your own comments, you've confirmed with me that you agree that it is a crime for one to invest in a company that they are on the board of. If that is the case, why would Peter Obi invest in a company that he was on the board of, even though he claimed that he had resigned? Records have shown that as at the time that that investment was done, he was still an active member of that board. He did resign a few months after that, but this was after he had already done the investment in the company. So again, you can verify that afterwards. But aside from that, now let me come back to why I've chosen Tinubu. I've always made my decision of whom to vote on the basis of what I think the nation wants. It does not matter what I want, because that would be me being selfish, right? It's always going to be about what the nation wants. And so in this particular point in time, what is Nigeria's most pressing problem? We have, if you want to go and look at Buhari's work, there's plans for all sorts of things to be done, right?
Yeah.
What's the biggest challenge? Revenue. Revenue to execute a lot of these things has been a problem. To execute the ones that have been executed, they've had to borrow to do it. Now, people have come to hate on the borrowing, but it is interesting for me because I wonder that borrowing that is targeted towards investments that return money back to the coffers of the nation are frowned upon, and then borrowing that doesn't return is not frowned upon, but that's another topic whatsoever. So, that said,
people frown at borrowing.
Yes, sir, please, Mr. Efodi, so please, shush it, sir.
right? So now, please understand that I'm not saying borrowing is a bad thing, because we must borrow, right? In fact, business or let me say financial sense says that if you have cash in hand, he says it's better to spend other people's money and hold on to your own. That's how wealthy people remain wealthy. They never spend their money. They will have the money and they will go to a bank and say, okay, I need 5 million naira, and they have 50. But they will take 5 instead from the bank and not touch their 50.
But
So their 50.
is not showing Tinubu as a good president.
Hear me out. Just hear me out.
It's
I
about
have spoken for more than the 1 minute that I was given.
It's about getting
Okay.
there.
All right. So let me
I've
just land there.
spoken for more than the 1 minute I was given.
You have
It was begged.
Don't be emotional.
You have
Don't be emotional. Just calm down.
The bottom line of the reason I've had to highlight all of these things about finances is that Tinubu has demonstrated capacity in one major area. The area that Nigeria is having its biggest problem in right now.
Hungry.
No.
Stealing.
Nope. Generating revenue.
How does it
Nigeria's
generate
been-
revenue? By
Just-
taxing people.
I'm fun. Just calm down. Calm down. Calm
Wait,
down.
now we're stating our points. Very soon we'll get into the argument part of it. Just chill.
Right? So if Nigeria's biggest problem right now is not plans of how to develop, but revenue on how to execute the plans that we already have, and Tinubu's greatest antecedent, to borrow a word from you, is the ability to raise revenue. I've looked at all the candidates on the offing, and he's the only one with that antecedent who has demonstrated the ability to raise revenue. And since we already have a plan in place, I think he's the best candidate for the year. But that's my reason. Now, that's my reason. I would like to hear anyone with any alternate.
So if you have counter opinion,
If you have a
come
counter
into the
opinion,
light.
please.
You don't.
So
All right.
actually, I beg to differ. Now, there is no economy that survives on overtaxing its citizens. Lagosians are actually complaining about the overtaxing. There is, there is light that the Lagos State will say they don't have part of it. There's the parking wherein you actually get to pay for using your own office space. Then there is the unnecessary bills you have to pay for. What is radio and TV licensing bill? Even when you don't have a TV and radio in your house, then you pay for the radio in your car. Basically, here is the thing: when you borrow money and then there's return on investment on that money, you are able to actually return the money and then have more money in your pocket. That is what happened in Anambra State. That's why Anambra is actually in cash. They borrowed money, yes. They invested the money, yes. They built infrastructures, yes. And now they are not owing anybody. Tinubu, they are not owing anybody.
I don't know about president now.
As at the time of being
What are you saying?
As at the time of being
Even
left,
at the time,
So
bro,
the-
even at the time of being left, bro.
Let's see you,
Guys,
bro.
What I think about generating income is that you can generate income.
Let me show you guys how much Anambra State was owing when Obi left.
How
So
much
that this
Anambra?
illusion that Anambra had no debt.
give us that data from a
So
verified
it's not
source,
only about
not
taxing people.
DSM.
One of the things we saw that
Hold on, bro.
Obi is
Data
very
can
good
be
at.
trusted from two places. It's from the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics and from the World Bank or IMF.
Alright,
Those are the
let's
sources I will give
Let's
you.
check.
All right, so you were telling me
So-
something.
Yeah, one of the things that
Illusion.
Obi is very good at is cutting costs. Yeah, if we need money to actually run governance, and governance is running on a lot of funds, unnecessary funds. Obi is very good, and he has demonstrated that he's very good in cutting costs.
Yes.
And then it would actually make use of our costs, of
Yes.
our funds judiciously.
Yes.
Then also, Obi is an economics. He's very good. He's a businessman.
Tell
So
them.
if you want to talk about
An
generating,
economics,
sorry,
actually.
he's a businessman. Sorry, he's a trader. He's a businessman. So if you want to talk about generating income, if you want to talk about how to use our income judiciously, Nigeria borrowed at the moment. Nigeria is owing over 50 trillion naira. Nigeria, yeah. During Buhari's regime, the problem is not about borrowing. Yeah, we've been borrowing money, but what are we using the money to do? Where is it going to? The infrastructures that are meant to be built, are they being built? Who are those tracking it and all of those things? Those are the loopholes that Obi will not allow to
Tinubu-
take
Can I ask
place.
you- Tinubu borrowed
And we saw
money
it
to
in
build-
Anambra.
to build-
Yeah.
to-
Obi during one of the things Obi did was strengthen the education system of Anambra. Anambra moved from say 20 something
Okay, sorry.
as regards to
Can I
WAEC
quickly
ranking.
ask a question?
Don't sorry us.
Let me quickly ask a question.
Can I answer
Please,
to
I
this
want to
point?
ask a question that would inform everybody. So please, both of you, tell me, during the time of Obi's governance, because the highest qualification that both of them have as regards serving the country has been governors. Yes. So during the time of Obi and Tinubu in Lagos, which state has the highest number or highest level of result? Do you understand? Do you get my question?
When we juxtapose-
When Obi was governor in Anambra and when Tinubu was governor in Lagos State, who had the highest level of result in governance?
That would not be a direct point-to-point argument because I mean Lagos was once the capital of Nigeria. Lagos has seaport. Lagos is the first touch base of every
I'm not speaking in
business.
terms of quantity.
It's not in terms of quantity.
I'm not speaking in terms of quantity. I'm
If-
saying the quality of governance. Quality. Don't worry about the funds that is available. I mean the quality of governance. Do you
Yeah.
understand what I mean?
I
Yes.
can-
I would
can answer
actually
this.
pick. I would
Sorry.
actually pick Obi
There are
if
metrics
that's the
to actually-
So give me
conversation.
facts. That's what I
I
mean.
can-
He just told you he brought down the
Oh,
cost of
that's the thing.
governance.
Hold on.
Education,
Hold on.
education, business.
At the
Guys,
time, was
guys.
education in Anambra
Hold on,
better
guys.
than Lagos State?
Hold on.
Yes, it was.
Are you sure? Give me the facts.
Education in
don't be
Anambra
emotional.
moved. Education
That's what I'm saying. Don't be emotional.
Education in
Give me
Anambra
the
moved
facts.
from
Exactly.
30
You can't
something.
exactly
It's not
compare the
true.
No, but it's
time.
online.
actually true.
Why-
No,
no,
the
no, no.
exact time.
What was the time Obi ruled?
I'm going to Google
What was
it.
the year Obi
I'm
ruled?
coming.
Google it.
There are facts now. There are
WAEC has
facts
come out.
already.
WAEC has come out to say they don't give any such rating. Where did Anambra get that rating
What
from?
rating is that?
The so-called Anambra went
No,
to.
that's a lie. WAEC gives
Google
rating
it.
every year.
Google
Even
it.
JAM gives the rating
Bro,
every year.
WAEC, check it. WAEC came out and said they don't give such ratings.
Well, the same WAEC that came out one time and said Buhari had a WAEC certificate and then came back again and said we don't used to give people certificates.
Bro.
Which exact WAEC have you
WAEC
having the
does
argument?
not give ratings.
I'm asking, is it
I'm
the
asking
same
you
WAEC?
when did you ever?
It's jammed, not WAEC.
Don't mind this one. This one does not have anybody's.
Alright, so JAM and WAEC, okay, so at least
Bro,
one.
he's just fooling around.
Then who are you voting for?
Anyway,
I'm
so
voting
let
for
me
Peter
let me
Obi.
answer. Let me tell you
Live
why.
and direct.
Let me tell you why your point that Peter Obi is a businessman. Your point that Peter Obi is a businessman is a
Oh, that is
negative
a-
rather than a plus for him. I've always said
What
this.
sense?
your point that Peter Obi is a businessman and so you think he'll be a good president is actually a negative for him and not a plus. Let me explain.
Wait, now let him express himself.
I just
like
highlighted the point. Let me explain it. Right now, what you must understand that the objective of every businessman is always profit. Right? So cost cutting would be a natural thing for a businessman. He does not care whether he.
Wait,
Let me finish.
Yeah.
Open your academic research. We'll look at it. Cost cutting is going to be a natural thing for a businessman. We've seen it with Elon Musk. Since he took over Twitter, he didn't care about firing 7,000 people. Right now,
But Google also
hear me out now. That's exactly you're simply supporting my point.
He's also a businessman.
You are supporting my point.
He's a businessman. That's what businessmen do.
That's what businessmen do.
I'm giving you more
Because the point is,
if a philosophy
hear me
is
out.
not
Just
working,
now, let
hear
him
me
finish his
out.
point. Please, let him learn.
Now, in
Relax,
governance,
This
in
is
governance, some decisions will have to be made that are never going to be for profit. They're simply going to be for humane reasons. For instance, the government will build the road to your village, my village. There's probably no economic turnover in the short term, right? But the intent is that if there's accessible roads to the area, that development will move there in the long term, right? There's no businessman that will do that. A businessman will say, what's in that village? Nothing should go there.
I beg to differ, sir.
Wait.
Bro, that's what businessmen do. You cannot tell me a businessman will put money in a place where there's no profit.
The argument was that
You are begging to differ. Oh, you are begging and differ.
if the argument was that he's not going to build, going to put money in places and plan on a futuristic investment, then he wouldn't have invested in education to start with. He wouldn't have invested in hospitals because some of
Bro,
actually
no. That's not at all. That cannot correlate because
it can
every
correlate because
no
if
now.
educated now tomorrow you will add,
No,
you will add to
no,
the economic of
no.
the
but then
nation.
No,
Yes,
hold on. Let me tell you why that doesn't correlate. Because education is like paying for training for your staff. It may not pay off in the immediate, but you expect it to pay off in the future term.
Building a
It's
road
not the
to
same.
the village will not pay off immediately, but I'm certain that at a certain time in the future, business will start to stream up over there. It's a direct correlation.
No, it's not. Not the same thing as education, because education does it pay.
If I educate you at some point, I will not even need to build the road. You will be so exposed to the level that there are some roads in Nigeria that were not actually built by government. Yes.
Which one?
At least at Mowe, I know places there.
Give me an example of which one.
What's it called? Top Lavin. When Ibafu bus stop, there's a street directly opposite the bus stop.
Okay, so go and ask. Hold on. Let me tell you how these.
I
things
know it was built by a hotel owner.
Let me tell you how these things work.
Okay, so it works.
Hold on. You said it's not built by the government. I want to tell you how these things work. There is no road that is not built by government.
And this was not for CSI.
Not even one.
Now,
Not necessarily for CSI.
bro, calm down now. Let me tell you how these things work.
I'll be back.
The hotel guy you're talking about
Yeah.
definitely got rebates in tax.
Not all of them actually. I knew that was going to be the first point of argument, but it's not.
Let me
all
tell you
of
how
them
much
that
you
get
don't know about this stuff is that we've attempted to build a road, right? Hold on now. We've attempted to do a road and we were sent a letter taking us to court for it.
True.
You cannot touch anything you do on any government road is you trespassing. You can't get up. It's like telling me now that because my neighbor's compound, the grass is overgrown and I have a lawnmower, I'll just get up, enter his compound and start to lawn. It will not work. You need permission from the government to do it.
So what
And
are
the
you
government-
saying?
and
You should
and the
not
gov-
build a road, but at the same time you should build a road. What I'm saying is that education is very fundamental to the development of any nation. If Peter Obi is a
Nobody's
investment-
argued that.
No, what you are saying is that he's gonna cut costs because in the real
I'm not the
time.
one saying he will cut costs. You did.
No, you're saying as he's cutting costs that it's not gonna work well for the nation because that's what businessmen do. And I'm telling you, there are some investments.
So you don't cost
inclusive-
costs. It doesn't cost costs in areas that
Give me an example.
spending.
Give me an example.
Okay,
say
there was
for
a particular
example-
one. His motor
Give me an
carriage.
example. Give me an example of where he cut costs.
Say for example when he was in Anambra, yeah. For example, his convoy was costing about I think close to like ₦1 million to 4.
It was actually in excess,
Yeah, every day. Yeah, and then it was about 22 convoy, and he reduced it to like 6. That's just an example. Let me give you another example. Yeah, every government. No, let's just give you another one. A cogent one. Hold on, let me give you another one. Hold on, sorry. Let me give you another one. A very cogent one. Yeah, every state government, they have a presidential lodge in their state, and then they use millions of naira to maintain it every month. Now, Anambra, he said that Anambra does not need a presidential lodge. That President Obasanjo, which was the president during his regime, stays in Abuja. Okay, and then he might not even come to your state throughout.
I want to
his
correct
regime.
you. It's not. There's not. What you don't even have that information correct.
In what sense?
Because it's a governor's lodge. Every state government has a governor's lodge.
Sorry,
in Abuja.
presidential
No. Wait,
It's not
hold
the
on.
presidential lodge.
There's the one in
Every
Abuja.
state government has a
Hold on.
governor's
The one in
lodge.
Abuja
Calm
was
down
given
now.
to.
Every state government has a governor's lodge in Abuja,
Yes.
and he said that he did not see why they needed to be spending to keep a governor's lodge.
No,
Wait,
it's
it's
we're talking
not
about
a
two
governor's
different
not
things.
true, that's not true.
We are talking about
It's
two
a
different things. The
presidential
one in
lodge in your
Abuja,
state.
they gave it out, yeah, and because of I think they gave it to a national, international body, and because of that, they were able to.
Let me bring it to
Just
down
let
to
me
you.
explain this thing finish.
Sharon,
It's
let
a
me
two
explain.
different
I
things.
get
There's a
your
governor's
message.
lodge at Abuja, and
Because it's not
also.
even giving the info correct.
No, I'm giving you the info. There's a governor's lodge at Abuja, and there's also a presidential. Every state has a presidential lodge in their state.
Yes.
Obasanjo wanted to come to Anambra. He was supposed to. He actually came to Anambra. He spent
No, I'm
about
saying
3
they don't have
days.
presidential lodges in every state.
They
have
do.
governor's lodges in
They
every state.
most
has a
likely
governor's
do.
lodge. No, they don't. Bro,
In
my
Anambra, that
uncle-
was.
see,
I'll Google.
Go.
Just
my
hold
uncle
on.
is the chief of
Don't
staff
worry,
to a
let me
governor.
check
I can
it.
tell you this confidently.
And your state does not have it. We
Maybe
should-
your
we should-
state does not.
You should find
Most
out why
states-
your state does not
Most
have it.
states
Tell
do.
me, okay,
and
hold
they're
on.
spending
Tell me-
millions of
Alright,
naira
Tell me
to
where
maintain
presidential
the
lodge
same.
is.
Part two. Bye.